16 TV's Cuz OP here back with another reaction. This time I'm reacting to Latinos press Kendrick Lamar for not including them at his LA concert. This is a Poetic Flacco video, so you're gonna have to go to this channel for the full thing. We're gonna start the screen recording. 2, 1, play.
Days ago, Kendrick Lamar had a concert on Juneteenth to celebrate his victory over Drake, but it was also meant to highlight the best that LA and the West Coast had to offer and to rejuvenate the West Coast in the music scene. But what was seen like a good deed is now receiving heavy backlash from some Mexicans in LA. They feel unrepresented because the majority of the crowd were Mexican fans. However, the artist that got to perform was only one Mexican artist, which was OGZ, and he does hip-hop music. Now, the most consistent argument that I've been hearing from multiple people in LA is, yo, if this was about the West Coast and rejuvenating the West Coast, then Mexican artists and the culture is a big part of the West Coast.
Well, I'm not going to deny that, but technically it was not. Technically, it was about black rappers going back and forth with each other. And so, a black rapper uses his platform to, you know what I'm saying, promote black culture. But I don't think they're wrong because, to be fair, Latinos make up a lot of LA, and that's a lot of the culture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the culture, the fact that they're together is a lot of the reason why the culture is like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Latino rappers from Los Angeles that could have went up there and did a pretty good job. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it was just about the West Coast, because it really wasn't. It was about a song that he had made and went up, and he decided to put who he wanted to put out there. That's just what it was. Y'all adding extra shit to it.
Include a lot of Mexican
and I respect
artists
that, but
on the roster,
technically that's not what that
Mexican
was.
representation in the show. So there's a podcast of mine that I love, is ran by my guy called LA Icon. They talked about this, and what they said is actually getting a lot of controversy and backlash from a lot of black people. So let's check it out.
So basically I feel like the Mexican people were underrepresented there last night.
I feel it. I can see that.
I can see that too, man, but...
And a lot of people are telling me that I sound like bitter or something. Like, I'm not a rapper, fool. I'm not tripping about not being on stage. I'm saying, like, Jeezy performed, I think, last night.
Yeah.
Did he?
That would have been nice if he would have been on stage.
If he would have.
Now.
I love LA Icon. He knows I love him, but this...
That being said, Lefty Gunplay, even though I'm not going to sit here and act like I listen to a ton of Lefty Gunplay, I think King Little G, I believe that was bro's name. A lot of people used to listen to bro. Bro could have been up there. Even though they black, they represent the Latino community, but you got the Mr. Keep It LA or what it was. It's like something bunny, something rabbit. He a rapper, but he from a Latino thing up there. I can't think of his name. I apologize. But there is a lot of Latino rappers up there. I honestly know more, but right here on the spot is killing me. Oh boy, they used to be signed to Sad Boy Loco. He used to be signed to, but he not from like LA, but he from California.
Come on stage and perform his songs. However, when Kendrick Lamar at the end brought out everybody from LA, and they were celebrating, I guess, the victory lap over Drake, and I guess celebrating the culture in general, and they was all on stage with Kendrick Lamar and dancing and celebrating. Saying that you felt like Jeezy is entitled to be on that stage, to me is kind of like, listen here, bruh. Jeezy got the opportunity to perform. Now, requiring that
he come on stage is requiring he technically consider himself black. Rucci right there. I mean, Rucci right there. Obviously, he represents black culture mostly, but he there and he Latino. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
is regarded as family.
There was people that he knew.
That Kendrick Lamar
just everybody wasn't there.
Friends with, right? If you look
there go Wally
the
the
stage,
Sensei.
you see a bunch of TDE members, TDE associates. You see a bunch of
DeMar
members from his community that he knows. So that was a community thing. And by a community thing, kinfolks and kinfolks, you feel me? Right? Yo, like, you're a rapper, you Mexican, man, yo, here, perform, do your thing. But to, say that is somewhat wrong, or, you think he was entitled to be on stage with the kinfolks? Come on, right? That's a little too much. And, and I think Icon knows, that.
Only because, I'm not saying we don't be having our moments, but that was definitely a moment for us. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I don't want to take from nobody else's movement because everybody else got their own movement, you know what I'm saying? But we don't have very many good moments where you see black people all come together. So for it finally to be a moment where we can all be happy and then some other people come up and be like, well, that isn't good enough. It's like, come on, let us have our thing because we hardly ever get along. At least that's how the world looks at us, especially people of that disposition. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe that they can get along, so let them have their moment. Don't take from it. If anything, ask if we could do a part 2 and include the Latino community, and he'll probably say, yeah, he'll probably do a part 1, part 2 to the song just off of this comment alone. I'm not saying he will, but he might, and he might be with all Latino rappers next, so you never know.
Like, that's asking
But
for a little
black people do need their moments.
Maybe.
Let them have it.
Maybe the young legend had something to do, so
Right.
he dipped.
Right, because all the artists that did perform were up there.
Facts.
I respect it. Who was up there? I can't keep counting.
There was a lot of people that
Suede,
went. but
R.I.P. Suede. Suede probably would have rapped too if he was alive. I ain't
OGZ
gonna lie
was
to
the
you.
only.
Person that didn't pop out? Or were you gonna say he's the only Mexican that performed?
Both.
Did he?
But even though he's Mexican, he favors more. That's why he said hip hop earlier. He favors more of a African American stance. So like, it's not like him being there shouldn't be enough for y'all to be like, yeah, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? We almost consider bro black.
Perform? Was he supposed to perform?
He did perform.
Just
Yeah.
the way he acts and
And I
stuff.
didn't see him perform because I caught it late.
I saw
but
the clip.
I saw
I didn't even see that
a
clip. What the
picture
fuck?
of someone posting that he performed.
Do you think it had something to do with it being
I got
Juneteenth?
coffee.
I don't understand.
That's another aspect of this, which I do believe is kind of like a miscommunication, right? The aspect of this is it happened on Juneteenth. So because it happened on Juneteenth, there's this
Cheeto
unspoken
Ranas.
thing of
I
this
believe
is
that's his name,
Juneteenth.
Cheeto Ranas.
This is a
He coulda rapped.
celebration of blackness. It's a celebration of the community.
I think Lil Weirdo
that
should have
grew
been
up
there
in,
too, even though he from like
so,
a different.
And because
Lil
it's a
Weirdo is
celebration
fire.
of blackness is essentially, you know, a black event for skin folks and kin folks, right? Now, the miscommunication comes in because people don't know that, right?
Yeah.
People is going to this
And then
concert.
you gotta think they also are excluding. They not. It's not like Northern California people was down there rapping. They definitely excluding that. This was more. This was more of a specific group of people than we think about, but nobody really thinks about that.
Thinking this is a celebration for the West Coast. So if it's a celebration for the West Coast, you know, then it should be a celebration for the West Coast. If it's a Juneteenth thing, and if it's a celebration of blackness, then you can't like demand, right, that you get
Yeah, it was a
included in a celebration for blackness.
And I didn't even think about that. It was also a Juneteenth thing, so it's kind of like, hell, the banks was closed because of blackness. That shit pissed me off because I ain't get my deposits on time. I ain't gonna lie to you, I get my deposit early. That shit made a nigga mad as fuck. But that being said, the banks was closed just because we was black. This should be everybody should know we should be allowed to have our moment. You know what I'm saying? And people didn't just start celebrating Juneteenth till recently. Because where we from, we celebrate Emancipation Day. I believe that's my dog's crying. But where we from, we celebrate Emancipation Day, and that's like the first 3 days out of August, right? August 1st, August 2nd, August 3rd. That's like where we got free. Like we celebrate. I think we've been celebrating that shit since I was a kid. So Juneteenth ain't ever really mattered to me, but to other people that just got that day, that shit matters to them, and I feel like that should have been known as a black thing.
Right. So that's where the miscommunication comes in, and because
Stop!
Lamar
I'm gonna
sort of,
take
like,
you out.
saddled both lines, saddled it as a black celebration and as a West Coast celebration.
My
People
bad.
from the
My
West Coast
dogs gotta
say,
go out
like,
twice
it's
or
more
more
than
than
just blackness
like,
in the
for
West
whatever
Coast,
reason.
and we need
It's
to be included
always
as well.
2 times like back to
I thought
back.
Juneteenth was like on the
even-
16th or something like that. It's on June 19th.
It was Juneteenth yesterday.
Yeah, it was Juneteenth.
It's like they too excited
I
to
respect
handle
it.
their
Do
business.
you think that had something to do
first
with it?
Had something to do with what? The fact that they threw the show that day? Or that there was no Mexicans
But
on
that
stage?
happens to everybody. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just thought
Do you think it
about
was
that.
supposed
Too
to be,
excited
like-
to
First
handle
of
your
all,
shit
let me
the
start
first
off by
time.
saying congratulations
Happened
to
to
Kendrick
everybody.
Lamar and all of the wonderful individuals that performed last night.
Hell yeah, shut him up.
So I'm not trying to go racial with it, but I will say,
Oh, we're just picking
You already
each other,
kinda
like,
did go
each other's
racial.
brain part.
although
Mind you, I'm a fan of Icon too. I like Icon.
it was
so.
Juneteenth, and I believe that's in remembrance of the massacre.
I don't think LA Icon is being funny or being snarky. I truly feel like he don't know exactly
No.
why people celebrate Juneteenth.
I don't think it's racism. I think it was ignorance right there. But do I think he should have probably been like, hey, put Juneteenth on the board real quick so we can figure out what the fuck we talking about first. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that probably would have been a good way to go about that.
Juneteenth was when the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation
I ain't gonna
happened
lie.
and when black folks were freed. So June 19, 1865
He
is
keep
when
crying.
black
I'm
folks
cutting
were
this off
truly
'cause he
free.
not shitting on
now,
my carpet.
it came to
I'm being
be
100.
because some black folks are saying, bro, we don't want to celebrate July 4th because we weren't free on July 4th. We got freedom just like everybody else on June 19th, so we want to celebrate it on June 19th. So now there's 2 celebrations, bro, for freedom. Hey, listen, man. You talk to Congress about that, bro. I don't know why, right? But nonetheless, though, LA icon misrepresenting it or not truly knowing.
But that day is a symbol of how fucked up it was for our people. You gotta think about that. Some motherfuckers didn't even know they was free. That's why they celebrate that day, because not everybody knew they was free. Only some people knew they was free. A lot of motherfuckers still thought everything was the same, you know? There's an actual reason people are celebrating that day. But just like Charleston White said in that video, I like the day better when not everybody knew, because that was kind of the purpose of that day, was the fact that we knew so late, so then black people was the only ones celebrating it. Now the world's celebrating the day, they don't even give a fuck about it. Only some black people care.
Because folks is like,
some
bro,
black
like,
people don't even care, they used to be slaves, like, you know what I'm saying?
About, and then asking why Mexican artists
some black
weren't
people didn't used to be slaves at all. They come from different countries.
It's insensitive to say the least, but I don't feel like Icon was trying to be insensitive on purpose. I do feel like Icon is coming from a good place and a place of curiosity, which to me, you know, is the best place to come from, right? If you're acting as if you're curious, it really can't pull fault to you because you're not saying things, you know, in cement, right? Like, you're not trying to be an authority of something.
No,
you're truly.
I don't think, like I said again, I don't think he was trying, at least on that one, I don't think he was trying to be racism. I just think the topic was so close to race that it seems like somebody was like, it's so close to race, it seems like somebody being racist. It's not like the Lefty Gunplay thing where he was like, I don't want my daughter to like date black people or whatever, because I'm gonna be 100. If I had a daughter, I don't really give a fuck what she dates. I guess I might be weird if it's a white boy to a degree, but I mean, I guess people were weird about me if I dated their white daughter too. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I guess to a degree, I might be sitting there like, but like, I ain't gonna give a fuck, because it's like, it's your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think Icon's being like that. I think Icon is kind of like, he curious. He really curious. He like, were we not supposed to be there? Like, this is I think he really curious. Like, what the fuck? Like, were we not supposed to be there? Is it because of this holiday? Somebody give me some answers so I understand why we wasn't included. That's all I think that's really what he wants to know. He just wants to understand why they weren't included as much as he thought they should be. Period. I truly think that.
Asking the question of being curious.
I don't want to be wrong, but is it in Tulsa or in Selma
I don't even know.
or a place over there? I could be wrong, and I hate to be wrong, but I know it's in remembrance of a massacre that took place, right?
No. So in Tulsa, what he's talking about, real quick, he's talking about, because those are like people I kind of descend from and stuff. I'm from North Tulsa. That's where the Black Wall Street was. These like some of these people, my relatives and shit, right? That died. So generally, what I mean, what that day was the fact that there was a influential black neighborhood where there was a lot of money, and there was an incident that happened where there was an argument. Dude, I don't really gotta break down. There was an incident. They wanted bro to go to jail, but there was no proof. Everybody black wanted him to go to court. And people was like, fuck court, we just gonna kill him, right? In the process of saying that, as soon as the rivaling faction that came out was black, came to argue, they said, fuck it, we gonna just start burning down their houses. And that's what he's talking about with that. Selma is the marches. These are different important days. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of shows that, like, that's what was always special about black culture. We knew what the fuck was going on. Now, if you guys are about to start learning about what's going on, y'all gotta get this shit right. Cause I know a lot about Latino and Mexican culture. Grew up with Latino and Mexican kids. I consider them my friends. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're gonna comment about it, you gotta understand it. Like, I wouldn't talk about Tijuana without doing no research, because I don't understand that. And I'm not saying that any of the Mexican people come from Tijuana. They're all Americans, real shit. The ones we talking about, all Americans. At least I think so. I'm gonna be 100. I don't care if they're not, but at least I think so. So I don't mean no. I'm just saying I'm not going. Or like the fight of the Alamo, because I believe that was for when Texas became like went from Mexico to America. I'm not going to speak on that without looking it up. You know what I mean?
I like to say that the Mexican people have been persecuted in this wonderful land for a long time.
Yeah.
Tariq Nasheed was
but we got to
first
be able
one
to
to
have
make
our
a post
things,
that could
bro.
go viral.
That's not right though. What he's saying though, it's not that you guys ain't been persecuted. I agree. I think that's why we feel so much kinship with Latino people, because we feel about the same for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? We feel like the same with them. But I'm gonna be 100. We had days where they wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they was treating you guys like humans completely neither, but there was time periods that we wasn't even human, bro. We was the same as a cow or a dog, you know what I'm saying? We was just like a creature, you feel me? So like, I feel like it's fucked up when people take from our moments like that, you know what I'm saying? If anything, add on to the moment. Be like, I get we couldn't be included in that one, but can we do something about another one where we are included? And I think that's fair. Black and brown pride or whatever they do in LA, you know what I'm saying? I think that's fair, and I think that's cool, and I think that's inclusive. But to take from our moments, that ain't cool, G. It's not. It's not. She said, I believe it was about a massacre. And you're not wrong. No, it was about, Juneteenth is about slaves not realizing they was free until later on. That's not even about no massacres, to be honest. That's about us even be considered like an actual person instead of property. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. I'm pretty sure as soon as y'all came over here, y'all was considered people, regardless.
It got about 3 million views.
Like some people might be assholes,
now,
but
Tariq
when we was
Nasheed
over
stated
here,
some
we was
Latino
property
users upset
originally.
that Kendrick Lamar didn't have any Mexican rappers on stage.
Like my dog, I'm about to go take a shit.
One of these
There's
guys
a motherfucker be like, hey, take walk them motherfuckers out there so they can go shit outside. That's how people used to treat us.
Now, this sparked a lot of outrage, man, and people took to Twitter to sort of like denounce Mexicans.
You see Django, he named that nigga Blueberry.
A user by the name of Wavy JR says, remember Kendrick told a black man he couldn't.
I'm gonna be real 100. Before I let that play, you seen Django, he named that nigga Blueberry, right? I just like using that as an example. Or Bojangles Chicken, right? What human, if you not like a pet, that's a pet name. What human you know, the real people can look up their grandparents, no bullshit. Some people that got the slave history and they grandpa gonna be named some stupid shit like Sugar Cube or some shit because he was owned by a motherfucker. That's not really happening with other communities.
Say the N-word, but he's letting these Mexicans who legit don't like blacks at all rock out. But hey, they not like us. I can't tell people how to feel, especially if they feel like their race is being played with. But I don't know where he gets the fact that all Mexicans don't like black people. That's not true at all. Now, some, right? Yeah, just like, you know, there's some in every race, right? Now, another user says, oh, Jeezy being up there confused me. Like, he's a Mexican rapper that has stated he is racially Caucasian, that got up there saying the N-word on Juneteenth. He is literally a colonizer. Yeah, bro. Listen, I don't know what Jeezy identify as, to be honest with you, bro. But do I feel like, you know, it was, you know, sensitive to get on stage as a Mexican rapper and say the N-word on Juneteenth? I don't. But hey, you know, if Kendrick and them allowed it, then, you know, I guess, you know, why would I complain, right? Another user said Mexicans want to be the first one to say end this and end that, but, you know, when they think they got proximity to whiteness, be the first ones to denounce themselves and others. F that. Do more by us and we'll...
Yeah, see, I think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because of who OGZ is. Like, if you know about OGZ's whole come up, they came from a group of people that was very mixed. So they not... he wasn't even thinking about being Latino growing up. He knew he was Latino, but he just knew he was with his friends. And I think that's one thing we forget about Los Angeles being from other places, is these people just grow up. We in a black neighborhood, they in a Mexican neighborhood, they're in an Armenian neighborhood. Bro, basically, whatever the fuck he grew up there, it don't matter what color he is, it'd be like, bro from blah, blah, blah. That's just how they are there. But go ahead, continue to like, subscribe, and share. Continue to holler at me. I appreciate y'all watching. Bye.